Today we're going to talk about how to work a horizontal stitch. Creates a really nice edge for a sleeve cap or even a neckline, and it also mirrors a bind off edge. So if you work it on a neckline and then maybe knit a row and then bind off, you get two sort of evenly matched little horizontal ridges. So it's a fun technique to know. It's really not hard to do, but it is a little fiddly. So we're going to get started. When you work this in the round, it's actually, I think I prefer it in the round, to be honest with you, but in the round you're able to just make a complete circle and then do your second row as a regular knit row and then work another horizontal row. But when you do it flat, we actually have to increase a stitch at the start. So when you get to the end, you'll want to work these the second to the last and the third to the last stitch together. So knit those together and then continue. That way we can compensate for the extra stitch we're going to start here. But if you're working it in the round, you don't have to worry about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by doing that extra stitch cast on. I've gone between the first and second stitch, and I'm bringing my yarn through and sliding it over to the left needle. I'm pulling that tight. Now that we've done this, we can continue with the rest of the horizontal stitch process. And how this works is you're going to take your right needle and you're going to go down through the back of the second stitch. Draw the yarn through, and before you slip anything off, you're going to actually then knit into the front of the first stitch. Then you'll slide them off together, then take the second stitch and put it back on the left needle. Looks a little messy at first, but give it a few times and you'll start to see it shape up. So then we're going to go back into the back of the second stitch, bring the yarn through. Maybe, like I said, it can be a little bit fiddly. Get the yarn out of the way there. Bring the yarn through, then knit into the front of the first stitch. Wrap it and bring the yarn through. Slide them off together and then take that first stitch and put it back on the left needle. And as you continue doing this, you will start to see the pattern come to life. It's a little bit fiddly because you are manipulating the stitches several times, so it does take longer than working a traditional knit row, unfortunately, but the result is pretty cool. We're almost to the point where you can see some progress. So you can see that horizontal row starting to shape up, and you would continue this all the way to the end. And as I mentioned, if you're working it flat, to compensate for the extra stitch, you're going to want to knit these two together. Otherwise you'll continue it, in the same manner. You can also, on the way back, purl those two together if you prefer, if you find that easier. Anyway, try this technique on a sleeve cap or a neckline, and it does pair really nicely with a bind off edge. So you can work this, do a knit row, and then do a bind off edge and create a really nice little edge that lays flat, and it's a nice alternative to garter or ribbing.